Lord of the Mysteries. Chapter 1035. Diary page in advance. Backlund, East Borough, inside a 2-bedroom apartment. Furs picked up a fountain pen and wrote on a piece of paper. This was a letter for her teacher, Dorian Gray Abraham. It was to tell him that she was in danger and had no choice but to leave where she used to stay. Replies were not to be sent there, and if he had sent a letter, he was to quickly change his address and change identities if possible. After writing plenty of words, Furs put down her pen, folded the letter, stuffed it into an envelope, and adhered a stamp on it. Then, she changed into outdoor attire and left the room with the letter she wanted to send. She wasn't inclined towards heading out, but this new residence of hers not only didn't have alcoholic beverages, but it didn't even have coffee beans, instant coffee, black tea leaves, daily newspapers, the latest magazines, or novels. For these, she had no choice but to personally head out to send a letter and buy some groceries outside East Borough. As for Zio, she had already gone out. She wanted to mail a letter to her former rental apartment, indicating that Viscount Stratford's loyalties lay with the king. She wanted to see if it could drive Charmaine's observer to take certain actions. Seriously, after everything was over, I was so afraid that I nearly forgot to write to teacher. If I had finished it earlier, I could have gotten Zio to do the mailing. Furs wore a bonnet that had a fishnet, walked down the dark staircase all the way to the bottom, and walked out the condominium. This was in the periphery of East Borough where technical workers and low-level managers mainly lived. It was relatively safe and even had paperboys around. As Furs heard chimes from time to time, she walked slowly along the side of the street. At this moment, a postman stopped his bike, took out a stack of newspapers from his bag, and entered a condominium beside her. Furs casually glanced at it, and discovered that the copy at the top was News at Sea. People who live here will actually subscribe to such a newspaper? Their job has something to do with maritime trade? Furs retracted her gaze as she mumbled in surprise. However, this wasn't something that was worth paying attention to. She quickly walked towards the mailbox when she saw it at the end of the streets. The postman entered the condominium and found a few targets from the rows of mailboxes, stuffing the corresponding papers into them. Shortly after he left, a mailbox was opened and the newspaper inside was taken out. The person who retrieved the newspapers walked up to the 3rd story, opened a room, and sat in a simple reclining chair, rocking in it as he read through it. By the side of the reclining chair, there was a black wooden table with a stack of papers placed on it. Some of them were stacked neatly with their front page facing up. Some were bent asymmetrically, revealing the articles. On them were the corresponding reports. Shocking! Crazy adventurer made fugitive. Crazy adventurer appears again. An incredible hunt. The man closest to the kings at sea. Adventurer worth £90,000. Story of Gehrman Sparrow and 3 female pirate admirals. Shooting to fame in one battle. Gehrman Sparrow attempts assassination attempt on Vice Admiral Ailment at night. Shortly after Furs finished her purchases and returned to her rental apartment, Zio had finished her trip and returned. The reason for their timely return was because it was Monday, and it was almost 3 in the afternoon. Gong! 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 The nearby cathedral's bells resonated as a crimson-red beam of light surged at Furs and Zio at the same moment. Inside the majestic palace, by the sides of the ancient model table, figures appeared simultaneously, taking corporeal form. Like always, Justice Audrey stood up first, faced the seat of honor of the long bronze table, curtsied, and said, "Good afternoon, Mr. Fool." Miss Justice seems rather down. From the looks of it, the news last night is still affecting her. The Fool Klein nodded indiscernibly and acknowledged the Tarot Club members' greetings. At this moment, Audrey, who wasn't in a good mood, noticed with her sharp observational skills that there was a bronze cross beside Mr. Fool's right hand. Where did this cross come from? To be placed on the table by Mr. Fool, it's an item that's at least the level of a card of blasphemy. Who does it originate from? What use does it have? Questions flew through Audrey's mind, making her feel an irresistible sense of curiosity. This was the first time Mr. Fool was placing something in front of him that wasn't a card of blasphemy. Immediately following that, Alger, Cattleya, and the other Tarot Club members also noticed the bronze cross that was more eye-catching than a card. Like Miss Justice, they couldn't help but guess at the item's origins, level, and use. Amongst them, Derek felt a subtle calling from it. He felt that the bronze cross was drawing him in. He then recalled a basic rule taught in lessons at the City of Silver, law of Beyonder characteristics convergence. This is a high-level sealed artifact of the Sun pathway? Derek suddenly came to a realization. Furs and Zio recognized the bronze cross to be the sealed artifacts that they had sacrificed. Their pupils dilated as though they were trying to take a better look. Mr. Fool places so much importance on this item? It's more important than what Zio and I imagined. Furs was stunned and couldn't hide her curiosity. When it came to matters involving gods, her thoughts would never develop towards romance. Zio shared similar thoughts with Furs, but she didn't say a word. She believed that Miss Justice would definitely take the initiative to ask. Just as Audrey was deliberating about raising her hand, Cattleya closed her eyes, turned her body, and faced the seat of honor. Before she bowed and spoke, the Fool Klein suddenly chuckled. Don't worry. The glasses you conjure conceal your eye of mystery prying. He knew very well that Ma'am Hermit had already become a demigod by obtaining godhood, turning into a mysticologist. This was partly because Cattleya had prayed to the Fool before she held the ritual and consumed the potion, hoping to advance under his watch. This way, even if she ultimately failed, she could be blessed and not lose control or go mad. She could always think of expelling the excessive characteristic and redo the attempt. Towards this matter, Klein wasn't too confident about it, because he had never attempted it before. Divination also didn't give any answers, but since he had agreed, he believed that if she failed and didn't die, it was definitely all thanks to Mr. Fool. If she were to lose control or go mad, she wouldn't care if Mr. Fool was really a cheat. In short, Klein's main purpose was to give her confidence so that she was in the best conditions for an advancement attempt. After all, Admiral of Stars wasn't able to find other existences to give similar blessings. After witnessing Ma'am Hermit's advancement to a demigod, Klein heaved a sigh of relief while lampooning inwardly. At times, acting as a god is harder than acting like a human. When believers encounter trouble, there are usually two outcomes: life or death. Their survival is naturally due to the blessings of deities, and no one would care if death occurs. On the other hand, after becoming a demigod and being able to use more of the powers of the mysterious space above the gray fog, the Fool Klein could easily see the astral projections of the Tarot Club members, thus reading their current Beyonder pathway and sequence. After sealing her eye of mystery prying, Cattleya heaved a sigh of relief and reverently said, Mr. Fool, there's one page of Emperor Roselle's diary this time. Emperor Roselle's diary? Queen Mystic is done with her matters? But nothing abnormal happened in Backlund. Yes, no one noticed the infiltration of Amon in Backlund Street, or the demigod battle in Mager Manor. The Fool Klein nodded in an unperturbed manner and said, Good. You can think of a question or request. As he spoke, Audrey, Alger, and company sharply learned something from this conversation. Ma'am Hermit was worried that the glasses she conjured was unable to seal her eye of mystery prying, and this wasn't a worry she had in the previous gatherings. This means that Ma'am Hermit's eye of mystery prying has been significantly boosted. Why would there be a sudden boost? As she advanced to become a demigod? She's our Tarot Club's second demigod? Audrey connected this matter to Cattleya's purchase of the mythical creature's blood and immediately had a guess. She then swept her gaze at the male members opposite her and realized that Mr. Hangman's seating posture had unknowingly changed. He had apparently figured that Ma'am Hermit had become a demigod. Little Son's gaze was still staring at the bronze cross without any reaction. The moon Mr. Emlyn hesitated for a few seconds before looking up at Ma'am Hermit. Mr. Star was like Little Son, his eyes somewhat vacant as though he was waiting for the diary part to pass. Honorable Mr. Fool, can this question be accumulated with the next one? Cattleya asked. Accumulated with the next one. Queen Mystic still doesn't want to have her mood affected. Then why would she suddenly provide a diary page? Has she foreseen something? To maintain his image as the fool, he didn't ask why and nodded gently. Sure. Katla didn't speak further as she conjured that diary page, only to see it flash into Mr. Fool's hands. Klein scanned it seemingly casually, taking in most of the information. July 19th. Night of the blood moon. Mr. Dorr's answer allowed me to confirm one thing. In that ancient secret organization, the second blasphemy slate I saw wasn't complete.